Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. I have some very strong concerns about the cuts to retail pharmacies, and let me just qualify my statements by saying that I do own a pharmacy, but I'm not a Medi-Cal provider, so there's no conflict of interest there. As we know, there is a new implementation of a federal standard, which I think is flawed, which reduces ingredient costs for many pharmacies and will actually take that cost at or below their acquisition costs. And most other states are responding by increasing the dispensing fee to make up for that loss. But as we know, in California, we have an ongoing study for dispensing fees that will not come to fruition until April of 17, which means that we're going to be asking many pharmacies to basically dispense Medi-Cal prescriptions at or below their costs. And this is a particular concern to older urbanized cities such as Los Angeles and San Francisco, where you don't have as many chain stores as you do smaller independent stores that are helping those that require those Medi-Cal services to exist. In fact, I've got a lot of pharmacies in my district that exclusively provide for the developmentally disabled communities that predominantly are on Medi-Cal. And so I'm concerned that you're going to have many pharmacies that are not going to have the access to care, especially in the urbanized area, and pushing those clients to some of the chain stores that may or may not fill the prescriptions at a loss as well. But certainly if you're a multi-billion-dollar company, you can weather those losses a lot easier than you can as small independents. And this might put the nail in the coffin for many of the small independents that have been calling my office and raising these strong concerns. So we had heard this in budget sub 3, and we had requested that the state entertain a 2007 study that would increase the dispensing fee by roughly $3, that the pharmacy industry said would carry them through for this year, albeit not as much as they would have liked, but at least it will keep these pharmacies on fumes and keep them alive until the true dispensing study comes back. So I wonder if the administration could respond to that, and is there any room to help the pharmacy industry out that provides these essential services, access to care to some of the poorer areas of the state?
Adam Dorsey, Department of Finance. So, we've met with you and with the pharmacies on this issue. We do acknowledge that the change in federal law has created a situation where the reimbursement rate will go down for a one-year period until this study is completed and a new rate methodology is in place. There is language in this trailer bill that will accommodate, in the Health Omnibus trailer bill, that will accommodate the creation of a new methodology once the study is completed. But in the interim, we didn't have a solution to the problem necessarily because the study that we had completed was too old under federal regulations to be of direct use to the state. We will continue to monitor the situation along with the Department of Healthcare Services and, try to make sure that we're ensuring access to the benefit for beneficiaries until a new methodology is in place.
And just to clarify one more time, the state is going to save by this acquisition cost decrease over $328 million. And we were looking to propose roughly $100 million of that $300 million that was basically taken from the pharmacies to allow them to continue to provide access to, namely the poor, those that depend on Medi-Cal services, particularly in the urban areas. And I would welcome some of the input of this committee to make sure, because I think once we adopt it, I think many of you will hear that represent the urban areas from the pharmacies saying it's difficult for us to continue to provide these services when we're losing money. We don't mind breaking even, which some of the pharmacies will tell you, but when it actually costs them money to provide services, and they provide services such as delivering to people's homes or giving immunizations, they're doing all kinds of wonderful services in the community, and we shouldn't expect any of our providers to work below their cost.